Hello, my name is Hu Jae-gong, a lead teacher working at Iri-Moyon Elementary School. In this lecture, you will learn K-culture and how to apply K-culture to your education. For this purpose, firstly, let's take a look at the trends of K-culture and the characteristics of the cultural industry. Second, let's look at an example of educations using Hallyu. Third, we will learn cultural education model. First, let's take a look at the trends of Hallyu and the cultural industry. We can call K-culture as a Hallyu also. Hallyu is a cultural phenomenon which Korean popular culture are spread abroad and consumed in popularity. Popular types of Hallyu include K-pop, dramas, movies, and food, and so on. K-culture has started in 1990, and it is divided into 4 generations. Now it can be seen as the 4th generation of K-culture. The 4th generation Hallyu is represented by BTS, the movie Parasite, and the Netflix's Squid Game. The characteristic of 4th generation K-culture is that it is not limited to a specific country or fan, but has spread to the general public around the world, and it has become a social phenomenon. The characteristics of the 4th generation of Hallyu include the growth of OTT like Netflix after COVID, and enthusiastic fandom, and the increase in the role of cultural audiences. The characteristics of the cultural businesses are, first, it is a high value-added industry that can generate infinite profits compared to cost. Second, the development of a cultural industry has a synergistic effect that brings the development of other industries. Third, the cultural industry is an important element of national power. For example, in the United States, the cultural contents industry accounts for 25% of GDP, and the Americanism through movies has been spread around the world. So, why is K-culture competitive? According to K-culture-related thesis, first, government policy support like enactment of related laws. Second, free market economy and private capital investment. Creative content development, talent cultivation system like making idol, and the use of new media. Second, let's take a look at an example of cultural education using Hallyu. First, Korean language education using movies and dramas. This media education is useful for listening and speaking acquisition, and it stimulates students' interest and motivation. In addition, students can learn authentic communication through practical dialogues in films and dramas. Those contents are suitable for intermediate and advanced learners. And the specific methods include discussion, debate, culture aside, and the culture capsule. Also, it is better to move on to understanding of your own culture and understanding other cultures and comparing cultures. One thing to watch out for is integration. In other words, language function and the cultural content should be integrated rather than separated. The second example is the K-pop Academy for Music and Dance Education. The K-pop Academy has been implemented by the Korean government since 2016. Korean government sent famous K-pop instructors to 25 countries to give vocal and dance lessons to local people. In addition, Korean culture experience through via traditional culture experience and the history course are also included. However, there are some things to reflect on. The K-pop curriculum needs to be more structured, consider learners at various levels, and support the language of the culture, such as subtitles. Also, above all, it is necessary to consider the cultural sentiments that can be sensitive between countries, such as religions. Third, we will learn about the MIS model, which is the most famous in cultural education. The DMIS model aims at the growth of intercultural competence. Teachers can check the current level of multicultural sensitivity of students according to the DMIS model and the growth after the curriculum. Specific methods to check the level include discussion, debate, observation, and self-evaluation. The stage of the DMIS model moves from ethnocentrism to ethno-relativism, as shown in the figure, and it is divided into 6 stages in detail. First stage of ethnocentrism is a denier. Students think that there is no difference, and there is no thought of a difference. Second, in the defense stage, we acknowledge differences, but students think that we are superior and other cultures are inferior. And in the minimization stage, other cultures are considered trivial, focusing on what my culture has in common with the other cultures. In ethno-relativism, first, acceptance stage, you recognize differences from other cultures. And above all, do not judge values without any evidences. The adaptation stage develops intercultural communication methods. In the final integration stage, you will be able to empathize with the other cultures. Now, this is a quiz time. First question. When teach languages through K-culture, integration should be considered. True or false? It is true. Language function and the cultural contents must be integrated. Second question, when in the acceptance level of a DMIS model, students think that we are superior and they are inferior. It is false, that is difference level. It's time to finish. Thank you for listening. That was the last session.